Do you think there's ever been a game that benefited from a silent protagonist? Like
Benefited?
Yeah, benefited. Like, you think silent protagonists are good in games? Like your links, you know? I'm playing Dragon Quest 11 right now, and the hero
Yeah.
is silent, and sometimes I'm like, just say something, dude. Literally, I think saying one thing is better than not saying anything.
Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't say a game has benefited from it. I think it usually doesn't like hurt a game to me.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like the idea is maybe you can like place yourself as the protagonist more if they don't speak. But I don't really know if that's like legit. Like
What
that's
about
just kind of.
has there been games that have not benefited from a vocal protagonist?
Wait, that was like a triple negative. That was like games that have not benefited from not having.
Yeah,
Okay.
a game that got worse because you think the protagonist sucks because he talks too much. He's a yapper.
Oh my god, absolutely there are.
Damn.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better to
It
just
reminds
keep him
me
mute.
Well, there's that like there's you probably haven't seen it. There's a video that I've seen on the internet a bunch of times where it's somebody playing it's like some platforming or like puzzle game. I don't even know what it is.
Uh-huh.
And they're like playing it for the first time. They're going through a level and they like, it's one of those games where you like mess with physics or something to solve the puzzle.
Okay.
And so they like take a snapshot and then walk through it or something like that. And then the protagonist voiceover comes on and it's like the most obnoxious voice you've ever heard. And it's like, hold on a second. Did I just walk through that? And the person opens the pause menu and immediately turns the dialogue volume all the way down.
Oh, dude.
I've seen that clip so many times and it kills me every single time.
That's really good. Now I'm like, see, that's why I like having this conversation with you. Because now I'm like, you know what? Hero from Dragon Quest 11, you can just not talk, It's fine. You can just shut your mouth and keep saying, oh? That's all he says.
Oh?
He gets healed in battle. He's like, oh? All right, you want to start the show?
Right, start the show, brother.
Okay, here we
Start
go.
the show.
Welcome to another episode of The Checkpoint, the show where we check in on our Video Game Book Club progress. What's Video Game Book Club? Where it's our main show where we talk about a game that we've played all month. Between Ben and I. Who's Ben and I? Your host. Here we are. That's how you introduce a podcast. Thank you very much, Benny. How you doing?
Wow. I'm okay. I feel like everybody is at the part of the year right now where Christmas vacation, Christmas break is right around the corner. You get a little time off with the family, celebrate the holidays. It's right around the corner. You're struggling, or I say you, I'm talking about myself. You're trying to get through that last work week before you get to take a little time off. And yeah, I'm grinding right now. And it does not help that my life is currently in The Mist by Stephen King, where I live in California in the Central Valley. There's currently a phenomenon called, I think, the Tool fog.
The
or
what?
The Tool mist. I don't even know. I found out about this yesterday, but
Wow.
it's called like the Tool mist. And basically where we are has been blanketed in fog for the past month straight.
Yikes.
So I like have not seen the sun. And so like between trying to get through work for the holidays and like literally not seeing the sun for a month straight. And listen, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, I probably sound like a baby right now because this is your entire winter, but it's crazy. If you're listening to this, look up the Tool fog, Tule on Google.
I was going to ask you
and
how to spell that because
look at like the satellite images. It's insane. Like it just has not moved for a month. So I'm struggling for my vitamin D intake right now.
Damn, Benny, I'm really sorry about the Tool mist. I hope
The Tool.
the Tool. I hope it gets, what? I actually hope it stays, and I hope you enjoy your vacation soon. I hope you leave and go to see your fam, go to see your wife spam,
Yes.
ASAP, and the Tool can stay and then you can go. That's what
Sure.
I hope. I and feeling incredibly refreshed. I did the opposite of what most people do. My wife and I took a 2-week vacation before the Christmas and New Year's break because we're crazy. I don't know. No, it's because we were celebrating her birthday, which is early December. And we went to Guatemala. Oh, Ben, that's where my wife's mom's family side is from. I'm from El Salvador. And I grew up kind of going to Guatemala like as a kid, just like day or weekend trips and stuff. But this time I really like dove in and did, the big Guatemalan things. We went to Panajachel, at the Lago Atitlan, which is a big lake. We went to the city. We went to Antigua, of course. We went to Petén, which is where all these Mayan ruins are. And it was just beautiful, dude. I also took a break from video games, though. I barely touched my Steam Deck. I barely played anything. I brought it, but I was like mostly just enjoying my wife's family and meeting everyone that I didn't meet at the wedding and stuff that it was definitely overdue. And it was really nice to spend time with everyone. And just, yeah, dude, I came back to work on Monday and I was like the happiest man alive and everyone looks like zombies. Like you a little bit. And they're like,
for sure,
we can't wait to leave,
Yeah. I feel like a zombie right now.
Yeah. Something that I need to really work on now that I'm back is our video game book club game of the month, my man.
Yes, sir.
I played 2 hours before I went on the trip. And there's still only 2 hours that have been played since I came back from the trip. So I gotta get on it.
I was playing Pipistrello on stream last week, and we did a little.
Sorry,
I was playing.
He was playing Pipi.
I was playing Pipi. I was playing Pipi hard. We did a little investigating. We went on your Steam profile to see the hours played numbered, and we were like,
real work.
That's
hilarious. I went on my Steam profile. Every time I travel, though, I do keep that thing in airplane mode because.
Oh yeah, fair.
Even if I go to the hotel or Airbnb or wherever I'm at, I don't log on to the Wi-Fi because I don't want people to know that I'm gaming on my vacation. If I'm on vacation and then I'm like, it's a Thursday, 4 p.m. and I'm like playing PP, someone's going to be like, man, this guy's not even enjoying his vacation. I am enjoying my vacation. All right. Just so relax. I'm taking a 45-minute break and
quit pocket watching, bro.
Yeah,
I do whatever I want with my vacation.
Why are you watching my username profile pop up on Steam, bro?
Quit Discord activity watching.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that.
We're on watch all the time. I hope you know that on the Discord, on the Video Game Book Club Discord.
Every time I launch Dota 2, I feel judged.
Oh, dude, same. When I play a little bit of League, listen, all I'm doing is maybe after a long day of work, I just log on. I play a little ARAM. Which I don't know if you know what that is. Play a little ARAM, one game maybe, and then I go to bed. It's just a nice little. Yeah. But Ben, why don't you tell me then, since you played so much more Pipistrello and the Curse YoYo than me, how you enjoyed the game?
Yeah, I haven't played so much more. I think I've played like 6.5, 7 hours, something like that.
That's nothing.
It is nothing, but it's a pretty short game. It's like
it is
14 to 15, 16 maybe hours. So I definitely need to play it a little more. It started slow for me. Like the first time I played it, I was not very excited about it just because I feel like it's not the kind of game I gravitate towards.
Sure.
But I'm enjoying it more as I play it.
Good.
It was just like a very simple for me when it started, but like as the new mechanics are getting introduced and especially as they relate to like the puzzles and stuff like that, I think it's been awesome. You haven't experienced any of this yet, I'm sure, but there's a lot of really good puzzles and the combat gets more interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it. I'm probably like, I've defeated like 2 of the 4 major bosses.
Okay.
And then, who knows what happens after that. But yeah, so started slow for me, but definitely enjoying it. Definitely gotta finish it up.
I'm gonna grind it up, dude. And I mean, I have couple weeks like always, just to have a couple weeks to really finish this game. And you already know that when that happens, I go on overdrive. I start playing 4 times a week. I'm streaming on Twitch, couple hours every time I play, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. And then I finish on the 29th of the month, and then Ben's like, we should record.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah, give me one day to write down my notes, and then we record on the 31st. But, sorry, my friend, but I'm probably going to do that again. I did enjoy
It's
a lot.
okay. I mean, we're not going to, this is going to be PSA. This will be a late episode for January.
Of course.
Because the holiday travel and everything, it'll probably be a couple days into the month. So
it'll probably be the first Monday of the month. And, sorry, that's like the 4th or something, 5th maybe. So I feel like that's okay. And I think everyone, should take a break also. Just enjoy your fam, enjoy your own video games, and enjoy really good food maybe. I played Pipistrello. I'm playing PiPi on hard mode. I'm playing PiPi on hard mode.
No way.
just there it is.
The jokes in this game are just
endless. God, the Pipistrello is such a good name. So that's bat for those who don't know in Italian. But the word for bat in Spanish is actually, if you go to trivia one time, it's murciélago. And murciélago is the only word that has all 5 vowels once in the Spanish language. Murciélago.
That's crazy.
UIAAO. In that order. Obviously, that's not how we say the alphabet. But so I'm playing on hard mode. And what that is if you go on the settings of Pipistrello, they have these accessibility options, but it's kind of just difficulty modifiers. They also have other accessibility options that are actually accessibility options. And you can basically make the game as easy or as hard as you want. And so for me, I think of a game when it's in hard mode is you deal a little bit less damage and you get dealt a little bit more damage. So that's all I did.
Yeah.
I didn't touch anything about rewards. And there's one where it's like enemies won't drop any currency. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that. I just did every enemy hits me by ×2, and then I hit 0.75x damage.
Dang.
So that was really difficult because you start with 3 hearts, and so you really lose. You die by 2 hits, and sometimes you kill an enemy and they give you a heart, but that doesn't really help me because I have only 1 heart if someone has hit me, So I need to get 2 hearts to get back to normal. And I finally found one of those power-ups or whatever that I can equip that gives me an extra heart.
Nice.
There's also, this game is very much inspired by Legend of Zelda, so I started finding my heart pieces. Hopefully soon I can put a whole heart container together, and then I'll have more health. I really need it. Now, unlike Zelda, in this game you need 8 heart pieces, dude, which I found a lot. But you do find a lot of them though, so hopefully I get there quick. But
those are my favorite parts. Honestly, those are my favorite parts of the game. Is
finding the heart pieces,
heart pedal containers, because they're always locked behind some sort of puzzle or some sort of little task, and they're all super entertaining and super, I don't know, engaging. So that's honestly been my favorite part. I haven't touched the difficulty modifiers on mine though. I feel like there's the game almost has modifiers built into it through the contract system that it has.
Yes.
You're always taking on contracts, and the contracts nerf you, or debt contracts rather.
Yeah.
And the debt contracts nerf you while you're paying off the debt. So it's felt pretty balanced to me in terms of the difficulty so far. So I really haven't touched those.
Yeah, I'm getting murdered, bro. I die.
I'm sure that's
all the
insane.
Time. I feel like I shouldn't have done that. I feel like I always do that. I just like playing games on a harder difficulty. But sometimes before we started Video Game Book Club, I would play a game and maybe I would replay it in the future with a harder difficulty. So I'm more familiar with how difficult the game is the second time I go. But now, because of Video Game Book Club, bro, you think I have time to replay games? Hell no, I'm playing them once. So I just go straight to the harder difficulty. And a lot of the times, I don't regret it, but the first act of the game, let's say, before you really start getting power-ups in any RPG type game, you really are struggling.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you find the writing in the game? Because I played the previous game of this developer, which was Dodgeball Academia, which is a 2D dodgeball / kind of Pokemon game-ish, Pokemon-inspired game. And it was really fun, and I thought it was really funny. And I find Pipistrello just in the 2 hours that I was playing it kind of like funny as well.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been something I've like focused a lot on, I guess. Like
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not I kind of go through the text pretty quickly. I will say I find the story weird. Like I don't know if it's supposed to be tongue in cheek or like satirical, but it's like you're on the side of
You're the
like the
bad guy.
monopoly mega
Yeah.
corporation. Like it's just is that gonna, and I was saying on stream, like maybe something happens toward the end of the game that maybe there's some revelation or something that switches the perspective, but it's just like I don't really understand what's going on. Like I'm the bad guy. So I don't know.
You're the
But yeah, I mean,
immediately.
like it's definitely like there's a lot of personality to it, even if it, like the writing isn't like knocking me dead or something like that.
Yeah, immediately whenever you're arriving at like the first location that you get to after like the intro, you tell the taxi driver that you're part of the Pipistrello family, and he is like, "Oh my god, wait, you're the part of the Pipistrello family,
Yeah.
dude! You should have told me before." And he's like terrified
Exactly.
of you because your family is not good news, which is hilarious. But we're
Yeah.
gonna leave the Pipistrello talk there. Honestly, I don't really have much else to say because I've only played 2 hours of the game. So let me marinate with Pipistrello a little bit more, and we will be back
Sure.
in 2 weeks to talk about that more. But Ben, I have a short story for you today. Video Game Book
Ooh.
Club, those are regular stories. You know, novels, if you want to call them that.
Sure.
But I have a short story for you today. The mini Video Game Book Club game that I played this month is Despelote. And Despelote is a game that came out this year, was nominated, and has, I think, won maybe some awards, especially in the indie scene. It's a small game, very short. It's under 2 hours, made by a really small studio, but mostly by one person, I would say. Now they had a ton of help, but really it's
Sure.
the kind of, it's almost a time capsule type game that paints the picture of a few months of time in the late 2001 in Ecuador. And so you play as a young boy called Julian. And the cool thing about this game is you can play in a few languages, but everything that you hear is voiced in Spanish. So all the actors are speaking Spanish, all of them with a sweet Ecuadorian accent. I played in Spanish. And the reason why I know that, I went again and played it in English after I finished it, just to see like if they would have different actors that like spoke in English. But no, it's also in Spanish. You just have to read subtitles in English, which is really good. But dude, okay, the main thing about this game is that the art is really, really, really unique. And it looks
Yeah,
like
I've seen a few screenshots. It looks really cool.
it's so cool. To me, it looks like two things. One, it really looks like, I don't know if you've ever seen those Game Boy cameras, like old Game Boy Color cameras or Game Boy
Wow.
regular Game Boy
Yeah.
cameras. And you take a picture and everything is so granulated, so
Yeah.
granulated. But you can really tell what's what, or that there's an object there at least. But everything is so granulated. Or really, I think the inspiration of this is that it looks like what a really small old like Panasonic TV that has like a VCR attached to it, and it's just like, you know, it's like a CRT TV, and it's what, like 10 inches or something. That's what it would look like if you were watching TV on that thing. And you know, you're trying to watch cable and you have your couple antennas and you're trying to move them as much as you can, and you're not getting great reception, so everything is omega granulated. And that's really the vibe that they have created. But everything kind of happens in one plaza, one specific area of Quito in Ecuador. And this game is an ode, I think. Like, I mean, it's obviously super centered around football. But really what I think is it's an ode to Julian's family, his friends, his neighbors, his town, Ecuador in general, the food there, the culture, and just an ode of like almost like resilience of the people more than like soccer. And I think like it's really soccer heavy. And basically the story is Julian's life in the 5 months that Ecuador played their last five World Cup qualifying matches for the 2002 Korea Japan World Cup, where which was the first World Cup that Ecuador qualified to. And of course, the World Cup is extremely important to a lot of the world and a lot of countries, especially those that don't make it often or have never made it before. And it's one of those things where I've experienced living in El Salvador until I was 16, the agony of your country not qualifying for the World Cup. And just, me personally never seeing El Salvador ever qualify for the World Cup in my lifetime. And honestly, after this World Cup qualifying, I don't know if it's going to happen, bro. We're so
It'll
bad.
happen. It'll happen. We need to will it into existence.
We do. We really do. But it's so beautiful.
What if you were the man that saved El Salvador
dude,
soccer?
Honestly, what I need to do is one of the video game book club games of the month needs to be Football Manager 2026. If you know that game. Because, no, I'm not joking, Ben. There's actual coaches right now in the top 5 European leagues that were Football Manager freaks. And then the club, or one of the clubs that were probably like in a really bad spot, just took a leap of faith and hired these Football Managers freaky deakies, and now they're coaches in like European top 5 leagues.
Juan P to the El Salvador national team. That's what we need.
They're not gonna want me. I don't have the football IQ, dude. I needed to play that thing all my life, but I was more into the tennis when I was young, unfortunately.
Fair.
And the basketball. But no, the game is really good. I really encourage everyone to play it. It's really under 2 hours, and honestly, it kind of just plays as like a movie almost. Like what the gameplay is you there's like 2 different gameplays. One, this dude is in love with FIFA, and so you play like a FIFA type game within the game, and you just hear like your parents' conversations about whatever's happening in the country at the time, or they're going to a wedding and they're like really worried because the wedding is happening at the same time as a World Cup qualifying match for Ecuador. And they're like, man, I hope they have TVs. If they don't have TVs, people are going to leave.
So funny.
And it's just really, it's really funny, but it's true. Like when I was I think my cousins had like their baptism or something the day of the World Cup final of 2006, which I don't know if you know that one. It's a really famous one where Zidane headbutted an Italian player, and he got a red card on his last match as a professional soccer player, one of the GOATs. So it was, anyways, they had a huge TV at the baptism.
That is so crazy.
Because no one was going to go, unless they had that. And it really resonated with me a lot. And I think I really encourage people to try it, because if you do, not just if you like soccer, but if you come from maybe a different country, or you were in a small community, this game makes you feel like that community is alive. It really does. You feel like you're Julian, and you feel like those are your parents. Especially me experiencing that in Spanish. I felt like the mom was talking to me like my mom talked to me when I was like 8 years old. And the dad did the same. And he has a little sister, and you kind of like pick on your sister a little bit, and you run around, and you go to class, and you have recess. And what do you do on recess? You kick a soccer ball around, because that's exactly what I did when I was young. And it's really, really beautiful. And I really enjoyed it. Of course, Ecuador makes the qualifies for the World Cup, which is awesome. And then you have a small like meta moment at the end of the game, where the developer of the game, his name is Julian as well. Of course, the game is kind of like almost like an autobiography a little bit, is explaining to you kind of the point of the game and how he built the game. And then he takes away that granulated kind of filter of the world that he created, and he just shows you like the 3D model of the game that he made. That looks like the dude went and took a bunch of pictures of the actual plaza and just pasted them on top of like, objects. And that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like you're looking at this plaza in Quito, this parque really. And yeah, it was really cool. It was really, really cool. So
That sounds so unique. That's
so unique. So
such
unique.
an intentional experience.
It was so good, and it's not even a game, honestly. It's poetry almost. It's just like an ode to life itself, and I
It's
think
like slice
people
of
would enjoy it.
life.
Super slice of life. Super slice of life. Now I do have to mention one thing, and I think it's important. It is $15. It's $14.99. Now I got it on sale, I think, because there was a sale just now, and it was like maybe 10, maybe 11. I don't know. If you compare that to like going to a movie ticket is like $10, $11, and you get maybe 2 hours of entertainment. So this is about the same. So it's up to you if you think it's worth it. I think it's totally worth it. I think $14.99. I just love it so much. I would pay it, and I did pay it, of course. But I paid it on a leap of faith. I didn't know it was going to be this good. But I feel like if you don't know and you see that on Steam and you see the reviews saying, "Hey, this game is amazing, but it's only 2 hours,"
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you're not really. People don't think about it that way. Like, people don't do that type of math when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
Really, like it's not. They don't compare it to other forms of media, like you said, a movie. Which, yeah, I mean, if that's the experience the developer is trying to put forth, then yeah, that's what you should. That's what the point of comparison should be. So yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a really good point. But yeah, people just don't really think about it that way.
and they don't. And I think honestly, the developer, I think he knows that he created just like a piece of art instead of like a game that's like just a regular game. I don't know. I think he knows that, and maybe that's why that's the price. So, anyways, it has overwhelmingly positive reviews, and it did really well, and now it's winning awards. So clearly, it's worth it. But I just know that $15, when maybe someone only has that much to spend, and they would rather buy a roguelike that they can sink 100 hours in, then yeah, of course. I mean, do that.
Yeah.
But if you can and you have the time to experience this game, I think it's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, super cool. And this was a long time coming. In the Video Game Book Club Discord, JP had been talking about and planning to play Despelote with some other people for a while. So I know there's going to be at least a couple people that are very happy to hear this short story.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the short story. And I did it. I was going to wait until the last month to do it for you guys because I'm a sicko. But yeah. Benny, what else have you been playing?
Really nothing. Like, I don't know. I just haven't had time to play a ton outside of Pipistrello. There's been like so much PiPi. There's been, I don't know, that like my weekends have been really busy. And so like outside of Pipistrello, like I've played a couple games of Deadlock, which is like Valve's third person MOBA game that they released last year. It's just such a fun game to me. Like I've talked about it before, but it's so fun. It just like it scratches an itch for me. And
hey,
and then Dota 2. Like you played I think one match. Yeah.
No, 3 at most. 3
at most. Okay. And then Dota 2. Dota 2 is the game that just keeps coming back. They released like a big update and with like new hero, massive update, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, anytime that happens, like you've got your squad of people that you play with and everybody gets excited about the update. Everyone's back online. Maybe you don't play as much as you used to because you're not in undergrads playing 6 hours a day anymore. But everyone comes back together for a couple weeks and plays a bunch of matches and it's a lot of fun. So it's like very nostalgic for me in a way. So
yeah, totally.
That's pretty much it though.
Dude, me and my friends were absolute like disgusting creatures whenever we would just play 8 hours of League of Legends. Like
I was not a human being.
I was not a human
college.
Being. It was what was wrong with us, dude?
I don't know,
oh my god, I can't sit on my computer for 2 hours anymore. Like even if I play for 2 hours, I'm like, I need to get up. I need to go do something.
I know.
I have been playing a couple other games. I mentioned briefly in the pre-show. I've been playing Dragon Quest XI. Dude, Dragon Quest XI is a great game. That's it. That's all I gotta
That's
say.
it. Okay.
It's a great game, dude. It's so much fun. I love JRPGs. I love turn-based combat games that give you a lot of dungeon crawling and a story that is not like too much story. Like it's a story, but and they'll give it to me in 10-minute bursts, and then they'll let me dungeon crawl for an hour, and then they'll give me another 10 minutes of a story. And it's really charming is the thing. The story isn't like, it's good. It's genuinely, it's a good story that is charming. The characters are charming, and I just keep enjoying it. I talked a little bit about Dragon Quest XI Last Checkpoint, and I'm going to keep talking about it because this is one that I'm definitely... Well, I'm not going to finish until June probably, but this is one that I'm not going to put down. This is one that is sticking with me in my Steam Deck, I think, because it's the perfect, like, I'll play 45 minutes, an hour before going to bed. And it just gives you that really good feeling and really charming, and you go to bed. How I am playing on hard mode, and I am getting my ass kicked against the bosses sometimes, and I have to like really lock in on like the JRPGs that I played, like Final Fantasies and your Shin Megami Tenseis and your Personas, and there's other games, but I think some people wouldn't count them as RPGs. I am so locked in on the meta and like figuring out how I can min-max my team, play it on hard mode, and I just love to like do well. And then when I lose, I need to figure it out. But in this game, hard mode is fucking hard, bro. Like what they do is they just give the enemy like 3 turns in a row, and they hit me for like half my damage every time they hit me. So they just kill me every time, and I'm like, dude. But every boss has like a one spell or one gimmick that you just have to try to counter, and then that will keep you alive enough. And it's just figuring out what that is. And sometimes you just get so many spells in this game that I don't know which one it is that I need to use to counter that particular spell. So you have all these like, spell breaking spells that I need to use a little bit more. And one more game that me and some people in the Discord have been playing is No Skin. Dude, No Skin is a really, really, really interesting and unique game that is a roguelike dungeon crawler type game. It's really kind of gross. It's gross. It's dark. Like, for example, you are fighting a person that is your friend. It's like me and you, Ben. Like, I'm the protagonist and I'm fighting you. In the first act...
That's every stream we do.
That's true. It's every stream that we do. You are holding a knife and you look very menacing. And I'm very upset that my friend is trying to kill me. So then I fight you back. In the second act, all of a sudden, your head is split open. And in that opening, a tongue and teeth are all around you. And you don't have one knife, you have 10 knives. And I don't know how you're holding all these knives. And then there's a creature behind you. And now you're fighting me. And I'm like, what? And it keeps getting progressively worse. It's a really, really dark and interesting game that doesn't show you a lot of its cards. It wants you to play it so that you understand a glimpse of what the story seemingly is. But to get there, you need to... It's a roguelike, so you need to keep doing runs and keep playing different characters, keep unlocking different things until finally you'll maybe understand the story. Someone in the Discord, I think, has gotten pretty far now, and I think they are really enjoying it, so much so that they have recommended it as one of the Game of the Month recommendations for January. And it's a community vote. So, hey, if this is something that you think you want to play, go and vote for it. We'll probably have the voting open in maybe a couple of weeks, or maybe less than a couple of weeks, honestly. We probably need to get on that, Benny.
Yeah, probably like next week.
Probably next week. But that's it. That's all I've been playing.
I love it. I mean, for somebody who hasn't been playing a lot of games, you've been playing a lot of games.
It's just, you know what it is? It was that Thanksgiving break. It was not break. I had like 3 days off, but like I played a lot between Hades and when I went on vacation. So I'm like, I had all this information pent up, and I haven't been able to talk to you, my man. So I really wanted to tell you everything that I was playing.
I love it. Well, the big development that everyone is talking about in the broader gaming landscape right now is obviously the Game Awards. Last Checkpoint episode we talked about the nominations, and now we have the winners.
Ooh.
And of course, the headline is that Expedition 33 absolutely swept the whole show.
They gomaged the show, dude.
They gomaged the show. Best game, best indie game, best performance, best visuals, best music, best everything. Like they just won everything. And I feel like people are having kind of mixed reactions to that, honestly.
Isn't that interesting?
It is so interesting because, I mean, the game had such a positive reception, like such a positive reception.
People frothed
so
at this
positive.
game, dude.
We played it. I mean, this was our game of the month in May, I think, or June, maybe June. June. It was our June game.
I don't know.
It was our June game of the month. We played it. I think we both gave it A+. Like it was an excellent game.
Love the game.
I need, excellent game. And everybody there, it's been very polarizing the way people are reacting to this kind of sweep. And I feel like part of it is, with award shows and stuff, you always are going to get kind of factions of people. Like you've got the Hades 2 fans coming out of the woodwork that are mad their game didn't win. So they're going through Expedition 33 and finding all the goofy screenshots from like the platforming levels and being like, this is the game that won best visuals. Are you kidding me? And like, I've been seeing so much of that.
Yeah.
But it's inspired. Like there's also been a ton of discourse, more like legitimate discourse, I would say, about like indie games in general, because it's like, what is an indie game nowadays? What are we defining as an indie game? Because you had, the three of the bigger, probably more, honestly, I don't remember all of the nominees. Three of the nominees for best indie game were Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Silksong. And all three of those games, like they're independently, developed, sure, but they've got multi-million-dollar budgets. They've got like reasonably big teams working on them that like, are hiring a lot of people. And you compare that to something like Pipistrello, which was also nominated for Best Indie Game, which like I would say is like a much more representative of what an indie game is.
Yes.
Or what, like, not what it is, because those games are indie games.
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
But like what people think of when they think of indie games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like we're in a weird place right now with gaming. Like not with gaming, but like, I don't know. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on like the whole topic, because it's been very polarizing.
Yeah, it has. I think overall we are not in a really interesting space in gaming. We're in an amazing space in gaming right now. We had so many great games coming out, and I think that's why people are so upset that Expedition like swept, because this game was the front runner the whole year. I mean, the whole year for like 4 months, because it came out in May or so, or maybe late April, May or whatever. And everyone was like, this is the best game I've ever played. This is the best game of the year. Like nothing can top it. And it was so until Silksong was announced out of nowhere. Hey, we're dropping in 2 weeks. It's September. And people were like, Silksong's going to be the best game of the year, because all the Hollow Knight fiends came out and are chanting for it. And the same thing happened with Hades too. Supergiant said, hey, I'm doing this. And so I think people had the expectation that they would split. I think everyone knew Expedition 33 was going to win Game of the Year. I think if you didn't think that, maybe like who else would have won it? Maybe Hades too. Like I don't even know if they would have given it to Silksong, to be honest. But I think Expedition 33 was clearly the winner. And then everything else, I agree, that could have been split in different ways. However,
but it's like you find yourself in a situation where it's like, how can a game win best game but not best indie game?
No. Yes, I'm getting there.
Like, go ahead. You get there.
Yeah. This is more just like that it won 9 awards. It won 9 awards, and there's only like 14 categories.
I think it was more. I think it was 11.
Oh dang. Okay.
Maybe I might be wrong. Anyways,
I think you don't know. I think you don't know.
okay.
I'm
I don't
kidding.
know. I guess
No,
I don't
no.
know.
And then every other game that was nominated for Best Game of the Year, except Kingdom Come Deliverance, won only one award. So Hades 2 won one, Silksong won one, and the other games won one. I forget them. Death Stranding 2 and another one. And then Expedition won 9. And I think that's where probably like the animosity comes, that they won so many of the major categories besides Best Indie Game, that because they're upset of all of those, they were like, well, surely they shouldn't award them Best Indie Game. But like you said, it's a really tricky situation when the game that wins Best Game of the Year is also nominated for Best Indie Game, because it has to win. It's almost like objectively it has to win. And I worry that if we start getting more granular with the categories of the games, that it'll lose is... I mean, listen, hey, an aside of this is that gaming awards are so like just silly, and it doesn't mean anything at all. And it doesn't mean that Silksong nor Kingdom Come Deliverance nor Hades 2 are not incredible games. They are. But because, we're having fun talking about these awards as if they're like, the end all be all. If you get really granular and you start saying, okay, we're going to do major games, we're going to do double A games, we're going to do A games, then we're going to do little B games, and then we're going to do little C games, and start really categorizing every game by like how much they spend or how many developers actually worked on the game. Yeah. It'll just be kind of like, nah, dude, you can't do that. So I don't see a problem with Expedition 33 winning Best Indie Game of the Year. They deserve Best Indie Game of the Year. I think everyone and their mom that was on siding with Expedition 33 was defending them, saying, yes, they are an indie game, but they use outside resources. Which game doesn't use outside resources? Come on, guys. You have to like have contractors working on these games. But now that like they won everything, the other side comes in and says, that's a stupid argument. They still spent millions of dollars. What about Pipistrello and the Curse YoYo? They made a game with a budget of less than however much money, Obviously, people, I don't think
something
people
like Blueprints. Like Blue is the same deal with Blueprints.
Yeah.
Blueprints like took over the internet basically for a couple weeks. Like everybody was playing Blueprints, and it's the same deal where it's like a much smaller game developed by like a much smaller team with a smaller budget, going against like what is essentially a giant. And it's just like, it's weird. Like, would you be opposed to the addition of like one category that was just like best solo dev game or something like that? Would that be really fun. A good compromise?
That could be really
fun.
But
I also, I understand what you're saying. Like when you start getting granular, it's like, where do you stop getting granular? And it's just, it's a slippery slope, because before you know it, you've got, a huge span of categories that's like best game for a budget under this amount of money.
Exactly.
Best game for a budget between this amount of money. Like, it's, where do you stop?
No, and also the Game Awards is the Oscars. These developers are paying millions of dollars to show their trailers of their games that we will talk about right now after this. And during the show, millions of dollars. Like, they're milking this shit so much. And they're not going to change what they are. They're a giant, like, they're not indie. The Game Awards is that AAA game. And they are going to advertise as much crap as they can, and they will not change who they are and what they are. However, indie game awards exist, and other small indie, they don't, there's an actual award called the Indie Game Awards, but they're award show, but there's other awards in general that are more indie oriented. And I think there is where you can get a lot more granular, and you can't really sieve all those really big games out of here and start getting those little specks of gold and little diamonds in the rough of the actual indie games that should receive praise because of what the solo developers and the small teams did to accomplish such an incredible feat of like selling millions of dollars out of like nothing in a budget, So I think like the Game Awards is not the space for it. And I'm not defending them. I'm just saying objectively, it's not the space for that. But the space for it exists. It's not popular enough for people to care about. And all the trolls and all the people that want the clicks and the likes and the upvotes and stuff are being super vocal about the Game Awards. And I bet you that 90% of them are not going to watch the Indie Game Awards. I actually don't even know if the Indie Game Awards have already happened. They might have happened already, and I don't even know because I didn't even watch them, and I should.
You're just proving your point.
Exactly, I'm proving my own point, and it's true. Like I don't have the Indie Game Awards in my radar because they're not on my social media, they're not on my Reddit feed or whatever because people don't give them the light of day. But because the Game Awards are the Game Awards and the Oscars are the Oscars, that's what people care about. Even though the Golden Globes gave maybe more objective awards, so I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on it.
It's fair. I think I have nothing more to add. You mentioned a lot of trailers. There were a lot of trailers. I honestly didn't watch very many of them. The only one that stood out to me was the Divinity trailer. I think is one that stood out to most people. I like
banger.
Funny story. When Divinity Original Sin 2 was coming out, they put out like early access, I want to say, but it was only the first act of the game. And so for whatever reason, my friends and I played the first act of Divinity Original Sin 2 probably like literally like 30 times. Like and then by the time the game, like just like trying all the different classes, like, being goofy and stuff like that. And then by the time the game actually came out, none of us wanted to play it because we were like, bro, I'm not playing the first act again. Like, come on, I'm not doing that. So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking, like, it's a great series. I'm definitely looking forward to more Divinity. So that was definitely one that stood out to me. Were there any like highlights for you?
Well, I just want to say on Divinity and like Baldur's Gate 3 in general and stuff is that I want to play them so bad. Like I feel like I didn't understand them. Like I have Divinity Original Sin 2 and I also like you have played the Fort Joy like Act 1 like a million times just because I would play it, I would sink like 35 hours into it and when it was finally time to leave and start Act 2, I just like wasn't into it anymore or just like lost my steam. And I think Baldur's Gate, the kind of same thing happened to me, to be honest. And I think it's because the more CRPG type games, I just am not used to playing them. And so I struggled with them a little bit. But I've been playing a little bit Dungeons and Dragons with some friends. And shout out to my dungeon master. But that dude is telling a good story and it's making me excited for like games that Larian pulls out like Divinity and Baldur's Gate 3. So listen, if the Video Game Book Club people are listening out there, if one day you want to do a community vote and vote one of those games and hopefully let Ben and I have 3 months to play Baldur's Gate 3, I won't say no. I won't say no. Divinity, of course, was a really good trailer. I have just like 4 or 5 that I want to shout out. Coven of the Chicken Foot. I don't know if you saw that, but it's like a little grandma that looks like it's just like a dark adventure, and she has this like gigantic, like almost like puppet animal that she's somehow controlling with magic, like helping her in her whatever quest she's on. It has a little bit of platforming. It looks a little cozy, but then all of a sudden the big animal puppet like tackles her, and like she like it becomes like ominous all of a sudden. And I don't know. It looks so like interesting and weird that I was like, yeah, I want to play that. Dude, you got to talk about Control Resonant. That game looks...
Yeah, that was a series I kind of missed as Control. So that wasn't like one that really came across my radar.
Control is good, dude. We should play it on one of the book club games, maybe.
Is it an exclusive though?
Nah, my man, you can buy that.
Okay.
You can buy that thing. Probably not on PlayStation. Maybe? I don't know. I'm sure it's on Steam. It's definitely on Steam.
I don't know.
I think I played it.
Keep talking.
I'll
I'll
verify. I played Control on Xbox Game Pass, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yes.
On the PC.
It was on Steam.
And I never finished it. So I think we've talked about this before, but before Video Game Book Club really we started Video Game Book Club, I used to not finish many games. I used to just have like maybe just too many options, too many games out there, and I would play a game like for like a week straight every day, play like an hour, 2 hours of the game, and I would get halfway through the game, and then a new one would come out, and especially I was a Game Pass fiend, and I was like, oh, look at this new one, I'll play that one, or like a PS Plus or whatever. That I don't know, I only played half of it. I really enjoyed it. I wish I would have finished it. Obviously, now I have the a new love, maybe a new taste of what it is to actually finish games and talking about them with you, and I really enjoy doing that now. So I feel like finishing games, all the way through is something that I'm really loving and really enjoying and wish that I had done in the past. Looking at this new trailer for Control Resonant, that thing looks fun, dude. It looks really, really good. So I'm almost like we gotta do like a back-to-back Control Resonant or something, because that's gonna be good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, did you ever any highlights from that? From any trailers you're excited about?
More
about it?
Yeah, no.
I mean, not if there were none that you cared about.
No, there were more. So, Gang of Dragon comes from one of the Yakuza either producers or developers or something, and they kind of have, instead of making a Yakuza game, they're doing a different game. And the trailer was really crazy, especially the beginning. This guy, who's the main character, who's a really interesting main character, which I'm about to talk about, and I think it's really cool that they're doing this. But he gets stabbed with like almost like a cleaver, and like literally in the stomach, and he grabs with his hands the cleaver, and he's like pressing really hard trying to like get it off, and so you can just see that like he's cutting himself obviously by holding on to the knife. And it's just like a lot of blood, and it's really gruesome. And I was like, wow, that's like the first scene that they showed of the trailer. And then he says something like motherfucker or something like that, which is hilarious. But the dude is he's a chunky man. And I love that. I love that, dude. Like every Yakuza main character, which is two of them really, Ichiban and the other one, Kazuma. Yeah. They're just, super fit, handsome, tall, 6-pack, 8-pack or whatever, like just big hero boys, And this dude is just the coolest, just like looks like he's gonna kick your butt, dude ever. So yeah, I'm just excited that they went in a different direction. They're not using like the same kind of like stereotypical like superhero type, man. So that's cool. I want to shout out something really funny that I wanted to talk to you about, Ben, is that what the hell did Hideo Kojima do to us? He, as you know, Hideo Kojima is on the Video Game Book Club Discord. We're really proud to have him as a member. And he started a trend of games with babies in their hands. Like I've saw so many trailers at the Game Awards where like probably the gameplay doesn't have like the main character holding a baby the whole time, but at least in the trailer, one of the fighting sequences, you are holding a toddler or a baby of some sort, and the dude is just like absolutely mowing down 5 or 10 enemies with the baby
holding a baby.
Bro, can we not do babies anymore?
He's a visionary. Kojima is a visionary. It's the first Strand type game. Everybody knows that.
Oh my god!
What can you say? It's the first.
There were two games that had it that looked like it was in the gameplay, and the third game was Phantom Blade Zero, which looks really cool. But the trailer was that probably the main character's dad was holding the main character as a baby, and he was mowing down some enemies as a cool ass samurai or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I just don't want to play a game where I'm holding a baby,
Baby game. Baby game. We're baby gamers.
We're baby gamers. And then the last game, and I'm only excited to talk about it because I feel like it could be a really good game for the Video Game Book Club community, is High Guard. And High Guard is a new multiplayer game that comes from the developers, or some of the developers or developing team, let's call it, that did Apex Legends and Titanfall. And they have a new online shooter game, I don't know if it's going to be a battle royale. It doesn't look like it is. and it looks really cool. And I just feel like it'll be one of those games. It'll be free. It comes out in like a month, maybe a month and a half. And I'm sure it'll be one of those things. It's free, but it has a battle pass or something, which is cool. We haven't had those in a while, so let's get one of those. Hopefully, good ones in there. I'm joking, by the way. There's a million of those, and I just feel like it could be a fun new online multiplayer that we could all play together. You know, maybe it'll take you out of Deadlock a little bit.
Speaking of the Buenale Games community, the video game book club community, we need to talk about the Buenale Game Awards.
We are that indie award show, baby, that I was talking about.
Go.
We are that
indie
trophies.
Award show.
Yeah.
We need to make trophies and like ship them to the developers, and they'll just have no idea what they are.
They'll be like, what?
That'd be incredible. But so next month, instead of an episode of The Checkpoint in January, we will have the Buenale Game Awards, just released in the same way as a podcast. And what it's going to be, JP and I are going to come up with a bunch of categories, and we internally are going to decide the winners of them. It's going to be, our favorite games, our favorite characters, favorite enemies, favorite gameplay, goofy stuff, I'm sure.
So I'm bringing the
from
goofiness.
All the different games we played. Yeah. We'll also do a couple community categories. So we haven't decided exactly what those will be yet, but some community votes where we have a few categories with nominations and everybody votes on the winner. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm excited to have it as a way to almost like recap the past year for us, like all the games we played, like shout out the stuff we liked, the stuff we didn't like. I'm sure we'll have a few Razzie Awards in there, like the worst things. But I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have suggestions for categories, we've gotten a few suggestions already, but definitely drop them in the Video Game Book Club Discord if you have any other suggestions. And look out for the Buenale Game Awards in January.
It's going to be so much fun. Last year, Ben and I, on the last episode of Video Game Book Club, what we did was we just ranked all of the Video Game Book Club games that we played that year, which was only 8, I think, or 7 from May to December. I think that's 8. And it was so much fun. So we're going to do that in all the categories and all the awards, and we're just going to have such a good time. I'm so excited to send a developer the best kissable main character award through in the mail. Thank you, Joe from the Discord, for suggesting that one. So definitely check it out. We will try to make it as fun as possible. We'll make a lot of videos out of it, and we'll bombard the world with the Buenale Game Awards presented to you by Video Game Book Club, JP and Benny. That's the full name. All right, that's the full name. So y'all get it right, get it together. Speaking of the community again, Benjamin, the game of the month for January 2026, the first Video Game Book Club game, will be chosen by none other than the community. It won't be us, dude. We're starting off strong with a community pick.
I'm having flashbacks to the last community vote. The last time we had a community vote, there was election rigging, there was fraudulent voters, it was a production. It was. So I'm having flashbacks, but I'm always excited for what the community picks for us to play. So
it's gonna be good. We already have like 12 games nominated, so I don't know if we're gonna need to do like 2 like rounds of voting or something, but it'll be really, really fun. If you haven't already, please send us some nominations for the game of the month for the community pick. Like I said in the Discord, the game, it doesn't matter how meta, how non-meta, how good, how bad, how like incredibly talented the developing team, or how much brain rot we will get from the game. It literally doesn't matter. This is all for us becoming better gamers, better journalists, pseudo journalists, and better reviewers, and for your entertainment as well. You know, who doesn't want to see Ben play SpongeBob: The Tides of Something? Because that one sounds really good. You know, it sounds really fun. So get on there and yeah, submit your nominations.
Let's go. Join the club. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Always a lot of fun. Classic. Subscribe, like, share, join the club, do all that stuff.
Do all that good stuff. Thank you, Benny. That will do it from us today on the Checkpoint, which is the show between the show Video Game Book Club. We really appreciate all of you that always are joining us on these fun conversations and playing the games alongside us. We would not have as much fun without you. We love you very dearly. I hope that you have a really, really good holiday season with your loved ones. Just enjoy, hopefully, a really zen and relaxing time of your life, because that's what we all need right now. Hug your family as close as you can, and eat some good food. And yeah, just enjoy yourselves.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be back in January, really, really early January. So don't feel like you're gonna miss us for too long. All right, we'll be right back. I hope you have a good one. Bye.
Bye.